guess what? It's another fall, and I'm still single. You want to know why? Because you won't stop playing games. But I want to go apple picking. I want to carve pumpkins. I want to drink apple cider with you while we watch a movie. But we can't because you won't get your act together. Right? So maybe, just maybe, you can get it together and we could do something. Right? Right.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll discuss why men should prioritize themselves, examining various situations in men's lives, women criticizing men, when we are the true victims in this system. We invite you to smash that like button. Let's support the movement. Subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you men. Add your grain of sand to the movement. Leave your experience in the comments for any man who needs it. And without further introduction, let's begin.
Okay, in terms of the whole drizzle thing, it's not even worth acknowledging because it's just like, it's an insult to my intelligence to acknowledge it. But something I keep thinking about and it just pleases me so. It's not like this yet, but this is the world that I dream of. I dream of a world where women have the power that men have. Where we are the people who make up the majority of office. We make up the majority of political positions, make up the majority of CEOs, make up the majority of people in finance. We're the ones who have all the power in society. I would love to be in my 50s and my 60s and dating guys in their 20s just so they can like sit around and look pretty and I have the resources and I give them the resources at my leisure. And they're just around to make me look good in social environments. Something to have my arms, something to make me feel young. I love the idea of that world. We're not there yet. If y'all think you're gonna get beautiful young women to shower you in gifts, no. That's just not the way the world works right now. But you guys are more than welcome to go get yourselves a sugar mama. In the meantime, I think women, the young women, should either be dating men who give them resources and provide for them, or they should be alone and running for office, getting into finance, getting their finances in order, starting businesses. So in 30, 40 years, we can have the upper hand and then we can drizzle something on y'all if y'all cute enough. How about that? And as long as y'all talking about some drizzle and making your little TikToks or whatever you're doing instead of hitting gym, clocking the fuck in, you're going to be losing this race. You're going to be falling behind. And you're already very behind. You're behind and you had a head start. So I suggest you log off and clock in.
Afterwards, she wonders why she's single. Congratulations, woman. You've become the man you want to marry. This woman sounds completely like a man. I think even more macho than a man. She talks about equality, but what equality is she referring to? Of course, the comfortable equality of her dominating above, bossing those below. Why don't you mention that 50% of women should be in areas like construction, street cleaning, garbage collection, engineering, the military, police, firefighters, careers that always require manual labor? Of course, because for you, the only thing you want to lead is the comfortable work that means not getting your hands dirty, because your equality doesn't extend to difficult job areas, only to cushy positions. Furthermore, nowadays there are many sugar mommies who are supporting young men because men their age don't even look at them. The irony is that she herself encourages women to become gold diggers or to go out with wealthy men to get gifts, then she complains about a patriarchy that doesn't exist when she feeds off of it. The drizzle, like the red pill, is waking up more men who are understanding the rules of the game and are no longer allowing themselves to be used by women like you. Watch the next video. It's a clear example of how this woman is no longer seeking love but money.
Let's be real. Till death do us part no longer holds any value. It holds no weight in modern marriages today. I've done countless stories over the past 2 years on wives who leave their husbands on their deathbeds or while they become very, very ill. And honestly, it's heartbreaking because those are the times that you should be standing by your husband. Now, take a look at what happened recently to Wild 'N Out comedian Rip Michaels while he was being hospitalized. His wife was nowhere to be found.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I will not be making it to do a Apollo show. I'm in the hospital and I'm going to postpone it for a later date. Thank you for everybody that bought a ticket. But I promise you, as soon as I get better and I get out of here, we're going to have a great show. All right. Thank y'all for all the support.
You shared a picture of your wife, and you said that she was your woman crush Wednesday on a Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I am super in love with my wife. If you look at my screen saver, I will show you. Who is that?
Let me see.
When you look.
When I was in the hospital, it made me get really closer to my daughter because my wife left me when I was in the hospital too.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I don't. How does that even happen?
I guess when it says to death do us part, she's a go-getter. She don't like to procrastinate, so she was out.
That's terrible. How long were you guys married?
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, that was pretty recent.
Yeah.
That's cold-blooded.
I guess when it said I was in ICU, she was like, "I'll see you later." So she was out of there.
I don't like that.
But it's okay. But you know what it does? It lets you know that certain people can't handle things, and certain people are supposed to be with you for certain parts of your life. And I realized that it was hard to cope with because honestly, when I was sitting there and I went from just regular hospital bed to CCU and had the nonstop doctors about me, I really thought it was over. And if it wasn't for all the fans and even every single person calling me and wishing me well wishes, I was like, you know what? I'm meant to get out of this bed. I have more of my life to live. It's not over.
Here's your happily ever after. That's why I always say the only one who gets married for love is the man. The woman, for a lifestyle. Because Till Death Do Us Part is just a Disney movie they sold us as propaganda. For men, they create the story that to be happy they need to be married. The man who gives everything for love ends up signing a contract with the devil that ultimately only serves to rob him of his assets. Here I wonder, where are the women's opinions on this? Because I bet if it had been the man, that would have been national news. That's why men don't want a woman like her, who claims to be a businesswoman, as a wife. Because women are selfish by nature. Anything that involves the woman taking care of the man bothers her. Because, of course, it would be a waste of her money. What women like least is spending their money on the man, with no indication of recovering their investment. Here I repeat, the best investment you will ever make is in yourself. Because even being a good husband is no guarantee that they will take care of you when you need it. If this man hadn't had his children, especially his money, he would be one of the many cases of men abandoned on their deathbeds today. The best investment is always in yourself.
Look at him. Y'all see this? Look at me. Y'all see how I look right now? This man that brought me on a date to Shake Shack. Like, of all places. Look at him. You got all the chains and stuff like that on your neck. And maybe this shit might have been wrong.
What's hilarious about these videos is so many women will preach that they're so mature and they're the mature one between men and women, but then y'all go online and post dumb shit like this to basically continuously shame men, but when these men shame you back or in return, y'all don't like it and you can't handle it. But let me make this very clear to the men on my platform. A woman that likes you, that's not using you, and that's not manipulating you is going to want to spend time with you, even if y'all sit in freaking silence. She's going to appreciate the effort, she's going to want to spend time with you, and she's not going to judge you on a fucking lunch date. Not to mention, Shake Shack is like $50 or more, and in this economy, you got to appreciate the money that's being spent regardless. But even in this video, this woman actually goes on to say something along the lines of like, oh, well, you spend all this money in the club. Well, maybe he spends money in the club because you act like this and you behave like a fucking literal child, so he has to still be in the club because you aren't the one. But I digress. And if the men can understand anything, it's that real women do not act like this. Real women will want to spend time with you. The real women are the same women that don't care if you get a Pandora ring. They just want the freaking ring because they want you, and that's all. Don't let the internet and all these videos that people do just to go viral sway you. And additionally, why the hell, if you are supposedly going to Shake Shack, do you look like you're dressed for Burger King? The majority of the women that talk like this are the same women that are literally living on a Burger King budget expecting Capital Grille. Okay, bye.
Here's the detail. You are what you sell. If you look like you belong to the streets, I'll take you to a place where I take the street girls. Simple, there's nothing more to say. Because if you like the man, as this woman says, it doesn't matter where you go. The first date is to get to know each other, not to impress anyone, especially not a woman who only wants to go to expensive places with your money because she can't afford those places herself. She'll only order expensive dishes, Take lots of photos for her Instagram where everything will be there except you. Good for this man. The first date is a coffee. Furthermore, those who complain that the man spends money at the club forget that everything in life is cost-benefit. There, your money gives you value, while these women only give you a bad night. Seeing them order takeout for Chad's son, and in some cases, they even bring food to Chad himself so he can beat her later. Brothers, let's stop sponsoring luxurious lives at the expense of men's money.
So I had to make the tough decision with my 9 weeks baby. I had to break up with my wife after almost 2 years and a half in relationship. Don't get me wrong, my wife is amazing. She was supporting my dream. She was helping with the house. She was helping with the bill. She was being a great mom, breastfeeding. But let me tell you what happened yesterday that changed everything. So yesterday she arrived in the office while I'm configuring the Porsche 911 Turbo S. She know it's a dream car. She know I wanted it for long. So she looked at me and she said, baby, you can do it. I'll support your dream. You're gonna get that car. Keep working hard and you'll order it. The audacity of that woman, like, she doesn't know my value. Like, she should have Venmoed me the money right away or ordered a car for me on spot. As a woman that's supposed to be a provider and a supporter, why aren't you sending me the money right away? Like, your money is my money and my money is my money. I don't understand, guys. I'm in my soft era. Things have to change. Like, I'm the prize, drizzle. Like, things need to change. I can't accept that behavior anymore. So that's a message to all the king out there. If she wanted to, she would. You deserve to have your car paid for. You deserve to have your dream car bought for you. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Because of guys like this who treat movements as a joke, we see other dumb guys being the beta provider for many modern women, who only see how they steal everything they've worked for and treat them like crap. Among ourselves, we should support each other more, not take everything as a joke. That's why feminists unite to change laws against us. We just stay silent watching as they stab us. We need more men to join a movement to do things in our favor. Just imagine, we could move the whole country, not making videos joking around when we're in our awakening.
Watched a white girl fight off a robber at gunpoint. He literally had a gun to her. She fought him off, got the magazine out the gun and everything. But the crazy part about it was that there was two men watching very close by. I mean, literally, very close by. They were right within the vicinity, which is weird because why would that man try to rob her with those two guys there? But he did it because he knew they wasn't gonna do shit. And they did not. It was one man sitting on the...
I don't know why this is such a hard concept to understand, but women created this situation where they dislike men so much that men finally said, fuck it, we're not going to help you, we're not going to protect you, we owe you absolutely nothing, and because you're just some random stranger, I no longer have to help you. And really what gets me about the video is that there's a lot of other people in that video. Most people did a singular focus on the man sitting in the grass when that woman was getting attacked, but there were women there. So what happened to women supporting women? You know, y'all like to preach like how you're girls and you're supporting each other and oh my God, I'm always here for you. But you see a woman getting attacked and there's two women walking the other direction. Why aren't they running to her defense? Right, because you want the men that you claim are such trash to save you. And this is a perfect example of what women do all of the freaking time. They create this standard for how men should treat them, whether that's in the dating phases, in the marriage stages, in friendships, whatever it is. And they created this standard where they hate men so much, but now you want protection from said men. And now that you don't get it, the men are weak. Make it make sense. You cannot continuously drag men and blame the patriarchy and all of this bullshit around you, but then expect men to jump in and save you. Why don't you all call a freaking bear? Okay, bye.
Look at the irony of this. You're strong and independent enough to treat men like trash, to criticize men, even for opening a door for you. And the day you have a problem, now you want the man to be a man. But as a man, I understand that everything I do is misogynistic. So going to fight with an armed man for a woman is misogynistic because I'm taking away his right to self-defense. I don't want to be an oppressive man, right, brothers? But seriously, why should I put my life at risk for a woman who, when she hurts me, will just say, I never asked you to do that, or worse, I end up badly injured for getting involved in something that's not my business. After all that, what happens? You might end up in a police problem at best, or worse, You could be accused by the guy who was going to hurt her, or you could get injured, have a permanent injury for getting involved in matters that don't concern you. Real life isn't a movie where there's a hero and a villain. The hero never gets injured. Here, if you get shot, you're the one who will have a lifelong injury. The only people you should have a duty to protect and put your life at risk for are your wife, daughters, mother, or sisters, but nobody else. Avoid chaos in your life. You're not a police officer to go around saving people. Look at those Ukrainians in the war for their country. While their girlfriends are traveling and going out with other men, they lose their lives. She just lost a moment of hers. And will they thank you? Of course not. They're busy being happy with the next Chad, while you're badly injured with a lifelong injury, or worse, 6 feet under. Brothers, avoid chaos in your life.
England is 6 hours ahead of America. Why can't they just tell us the future?
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see a woman who had a date where everything went wrong, a girl who says that women need to raise their standards, a woman on the wall who doesn't talk about how women don't care about ending up alone. We want to invite you to smash that like button. Let's support the movement. Subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you. Man, add your grain of sand to the movement. Leave your experience in the comments for any man who needs it. And without further introduction, let's begin.
You know what I find hotter than a man with a six-pack, or a man with a really good haircut, or a man with shiny toys, or like whatever they use to like flex these days? It's a man with daddy energy. And by daddy energy, I mean like a provider. Like it's a providing energy. Like a man who's just going to take care of you, not necessarily financially, but like emotionally and physically, and he just shows up. He's a man of his word, or he goes and grabs the door for you, not because he's trying to impress you, but like he literally does that for everybody. Or he checks on you, like, did you make it home okay? How are you feeling emotionally? Like checks in on you. Yeah, and like I'm at the point now where it doesn't even matter if you're older, if you're younger, if you have a six-pack, if you don't have a six-pack, if you have a full hairline or you don't have a full hairline. It's what's your energy. And if you don't have daddy energy, I can't do it. I feel like I've been with too many men with baby energy, and it's put me into like a motherly place where I almost don't even want to have kids anymore because I've done nothing but raise.
Your problem isn't how men act. Your problem is that you've been with too many men. What you like are chads, with abs and a good haircut. But now that you're almost 30, you want to change your tune because you're hitting the wall, and the wall doesn't forgive. Now that you're almost 30, you realize you want a more built and stable man, a beta provider, the women's savior, the perfect man who saves you after you come down from the carousel, this man who provides you with long-term financial security. It's just that after having fun, that's when you want the good man. I don't care if he's young or old. Sure, why not? Because when you were 23, at your best, you didn't give those men a chance, but you did give it to the chads. Now that you're almost 30, the chads aren't looking for you anymore. Now you want to settle down because you're afraid of being alone. Now you need a man with dad energy. I recommend you start buying a cat.
Honestly, this month I made over probably 50K just in stocks, so usually I use Discord and stuff. But I can try to show you, honestly, if you want.
So you make a lot of money?
Oh yeah. Okay, but you can slide the card underneath the table.
You want me to give you my credit card under the table?
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna give it to the waiter.
Why?
Because it's just what the man does.
So why don't you use your card?
Because you need to prove your worth to me.
Honestly, I wouldn't do something like that, but if the date has been awful, you might not want to pay. It's each person's decision. But the reality has always been that the man pays for the first date, especially if you're the one inviting her. It's because you want something with her, so it's assumed that you want the date to go well. Paying for a coffee date shouldn't be too expensive, but as I said, it's each person's decision. Another thing, Never talk to a woman about how much money you have, like saying you've spent $50,000 only to not have enough to pay for a date later. That makes you a simp, trying to buy her affection with your money. And then, if you can't afford it, asking her to pay but giving you the card to pay with so you can pretend you paid. That doesn't make you a masculine or high-value man. It makes you a simp. Honestly, I want to hear your opinions, but let's see the second part.
Alright, I'm just gonna pay for my bill with my card, and then you can pay for yours.
Okay, why the f are you being so fucking difficult? Just put this, give me the card, I'll give it to the waiter. It's not that difficult. Are you dumb? Are you broke? Listen, bitch. Pass the card on the table and we won't have a problem.
And what if I don't? Yeah, I just gotta take this call. Yeah, I just needed an excuse to leave this date. This guy's being really cringy and aggressive. So, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna use this excuse to like have a family emergency to go home. Thank you.
This is everyone's own judgment, but for me, this isn't right. She's not refusing to split the bill, but you're telling her to give you her card to pay. You even threaten her. That's pathetic, man. I've always said the first date is just coffee. If she wants to split the bill, let her, but inviting a woman and expecting her to pay, then threatening her when she doesn't want to pay for what you ate, that's just being a simp. To me, that's pathetic. She's right to walk away because at any moment, he could also hit her over this. I want to see a debate on this in the comments. See your opinions and points of view.
20, 30, 50% of women will be without a man. The men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas. The other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle.
The reason I'm even commenting on this video is because when I did a video in the summer about my grandmother and her sisters telling me to make my own money and live an independent life, I got huge pushback from a lot of men. There's about 1.3 million views on it right now and over 6,000 comments. And I would say 90% of the comments from men are completely negative and 95% of the comments from women are positive. But there were also those comments about going overseas to get a wife. I didn't even know what that was, and somebody told me it's called passport bros. So I looked it up and I'm like, you're saying that out loud? But hey, as long as everybody's a consenting adult, are in agreement with the marriage, great. But then another part of this video struck me because he said men won't want to deal with women anymore. They're just going to give up. My question is, what don't you want to deal with? Women who have their own interests and goals, women who want to work and be fulfilled, women who want to choose whether or not to become a mother, women who have thoughts and opinions about big issues and little issues. And then when he said something that women are going to have to deal with is the fact that men won't want them. And at the end, when he says this is a real issue that women are going to have to deal with as their options dwindle. Our options for men who want to keep us in traditional roles? Hard pass. But our options in life are actually increasing. And shockingly to men, they're no longer the focus.
On the contrary, now we're the ones being the center of attention because when women decided to go down the girl boss path, they forget that one day they'll get fired, that they're slaves to a job, that not having children or a husband becomes heavier as they age. It's a reality that women are ending up single, otherwise, there wouldn't be so many channels like mine talking about this. That men in this country prefer women from any country outside of the United States and Canada because women with this radical feminism have taught them everything except how to be a good wife. So nobody cares if you end up alone with a cat either. Your grandmothers and aunts, if they got married, continued to have great lives with husbands and children, but with you, the lineage dies. From a personal standpoint, it's the best time to be a man. We don't have to take care of them or strive to seek their validation. We just have to worry about ourselves and our finances. That's why I always tell you the best investment is in yourselves. First, work on your physical appearance, your finances, then leave this country. There are more than 150 countries where you could find a woman with whom you could start a family. Don't limit your options. Keep working on yourselves.
If you have a habit of chasing people who don't value you, don't respect you, and probably don't want you, listen to this. I'm getting my master's in marriage and family therapy, and I heard this analogy, and it is just so good that I had to share. If you think of a really nice brand like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, nobody has to sit there and convince the consumers that their products are nice. You know by the price tag of $5,000, $10,000 that their products have inherent value. You either have the money or you don't. And the thing about these stores is that they can be empty all day long. I'm sure we've passed by them in the mall. They're usually pretty empty. But guess what? They will never, ever, ever lower their prices. Why? Because they set the value of what they have in their store. And you either can come in and buy something or you can't. And if they did lower their prices, they would have a lot more people walking into their store. So just by having that price tag, you're eliminating a lot of people. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there, women especially, who are lowering their standards and lowering their prices and putting themselves on sale, whether it be because of a perceived ticking time clock, a lack of a great dating pool. They're just opening themselves up to experience more people, and that is lowering their value. And it's really important to be aware of this if you're doing it, because if you're lowering your standards, you're out there chasing somebody, you're pursuing someone who maybe doesn't really give you the same energy back, the way you start a relationship is typically how the relationship will be maintained. So if you're lowering your standards, you're putting up with stuff that you're not proud of, you're putting a lot of energy into someone who's not really giving you the same energy back just so you can get into a relationship with them, don't expect the relationship dynamic to change once you're in a relationship, because this is the standard that you're setting from the beginning. You are showing them how you value yourself by lowering your standards, by accepting less than what you deserve, and by allowing them to come into your life when maybe they don't deserve you. And trust me, I get it. It is so hard to be lonely. It is so hard to sit there waiting in an empty store, wishing, wanting, praying that somebody's going to come along and meet your standards and recognize your value. However, you have to trust that this person will come eventually. If you're already in a relationship where you feel like you lowered your boundaries and expectations from the beginning and now you're accepting less than what you deserve and aren't happy with it, communicate this with your partner. Set new boundaries. Be respectful in your conversations and hope that they will be receptive to it, because that's what being a partner is all about. Hearing what's going on in your life, growing with you as you gain more awareness of who you are, why you do the things you do, and what will make you happiest going forward.
She continued with the same narrative about the Gucci or Chanel wallet. What you forgot is that every time you go to the store to buy one of those expensive products, it comes with a guarantee that you're the only one who has used it. But when someone tries to sell you a Chanel or Gucci wallet that has a body count of more than 10, meaning it's passed through more than 10 hands, that wallet isn't worth even $50, applying your supply and demand logic. Another thing is that once you leave the store, its value drops by 25%. Another thing is a woman's best moments are from 20 to 27 years old. That's her prime time of social value in the sexual marketplace. But after that, her beauty starts to decline. Her value decreases. However, a man is born without social value. He has to increase his physical appearance, especially his finances, so that from 28 to 43, he's in his prime. So, as you said, a woman should preserve her value. But what does she do? She goes out with every Chad she finds. And continuing with the wallet analogy, every year they release new models. That means the model you bought this year will likely be worth less next year. Like I said, it's supply and demand. So don't hit the wall after passing through different hands, because just like the wallet, at some point, it will end up in the trash, and you'll end up in loneliness because the wall doesn't forgive. Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how women are angry now that men are denying them commitment, how they're bothered by being rejected by chat. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. We'd also love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Your participation helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let's get started.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're seeing a guy for months, but he's still not committing? You're acting as boyfriend and girlfriend, but he still hasn't asked you officially. Normally, the man will give you some excuse, like it's not the right time or I'm not looking for a relationship. Here's the truth. He's not looking for a relationship with you because he doesn't see you as his game changer, he sees you as a placeholder. You're playing the role of a substitute girlfriend who's good enough for now until he meets someone who completely changes his life. This is why there's so many women who are stuck in like 6-year relationship and they never get proposed to, because the guy always says that he's not ready for marriage. And then they break up and he's married to a new girl like 2 months later. If a guy truly sees you as the most amazing girl in the world, he will not let timing get in the way and risk losing you to another guy. If you're in that situation, start working on yourself and what's inside and dating other men so you can come across the one who does see you as his game changer.
It's just that there's no game. They simply don't like being rejected. Women have a bias against rejection because if a man tells you he doesn't want anything serious, what the hell is she listening to? Because I clearly understand he doesn't want anything serious. But since she has such a high ego, you can't reject me because I'm a 10, they stay there for years, hoping this man will change his mind. And this man doesn't change, because this man has already seen your attitudes, already knows from the get-go that you're not wife material. But let's be honest, this man is no idiot. If you're being given access to this woman's bed for free, there's no reason to reject her if you've already made things clear. But most women today are spoiled little girls who've been given everything by their fathers, never denied anything, feeling entitled to a man. When a man tells her no, she's more attracted to him because it's a challenge. Women, as I said, have bigger egos than men. She always has this idea that they'll make a man out of you because you have to love her because she chose you. So they spend years with a man, usually a Chad, until they see he won't change his mind or they become single mothers, then they want a different man.
I'm so fucking tired of being disappointed by men. I'm so fucking tired of getting hurt. I'm so fucking tired of men lying and then calling it honesty. I'm so tired of men pretending like they want to be in a relationship with you and literally pretend and act like they are in a relationship with you just for them to turn around weeks later and say they don't want a relationship with you. So what the fuck were you doing the entire time? Were we playing pretend? How old are we? I thought we stopped playing pretend when we turned like 9. Why are we still doing it? Why are you a little boy in a man's body? Why have you not matured yet? Why do I have to be disappointed and feel like a fool every fucking time? I'm so tired. Because from what I've also learned about guys is that they know right away. They know pretty early on if they see it with you or they don't, and they're not going to waste their fucking time if they don't see it, right? And I'm not talking about like just keeping you around, kind of breadcrumbing you just to like be able to get into your pants so that, you know, you go out on a night out so that they can text you at 2 a.m. and you come over. I'm just saying, like, I've gone through enough, I've been through enough that like I know the difference. I can usually spot the difference. I'm talking about guys that are coming over, cooking me dinner, hanging out multiple times a week, going on dates, paying for things. I'm meeting their friends, they're meeting my friends. Like, very much dating, right? So you can do all of the long-term relationshipy things with me, but then turn around and say you don't see the long-term relationship with me.
Simply because you're the one for the moment, not the one for a future together. Let me explain. You're the easy girl that one calls when they want to do couple things without being a couple. You're the one who's available. You bend over backward for this man. You're the one who loves Chad, the life he brings. But at no point did you see that this man told you what we are. Nor did he talk about starting a family with you because you're not the one this man wants for that. But since you keep giving him access to your bed, he'll never say no. It's as simple as that. This woman talks about having been through a lot, which means she has a pattern of Chads in her life. Men who bring nothing to the table except their seed. Unlike men, women are emotional. What does this mean? It means they'll act according to how they feel. That's why she's angry. Because she's stumbled over the same stone time and time again and hasn't learned until she hits her 30s. Then the urgency to change men sets in, to seek a beta provider who'll provide financial security. They complain about having wasted their youth with Chad, saying they hate men afterward.
Everyone's like, oh my god, Lindsay, how do you deal with heartache? How do you deal with like getting rejected and getting your feelings hurt? I like don't handle it well, but the more it happens, the better I become at just like fucking letting it go. I used to always turn it around and be like, okay, well, what happened and why me and what did I do wrong and why didn't he like me? Now, there's no rhyme or reason. I've literally learned that it is nothing to do with me. And that's not to say I'm perfect. That's not to say that, like, you know, everyone has to like me. But
it doesn't matter, honestly, what they tell me. It doesn't make it any better. So asking them, like, what went wrong, save yourself the fucking time. Save yourself the text message. Save yourself. They're gonna lie. You're never gonna get the real truth. Sucks to get excited about someone and to really put your time and energy and for it to be reciprocated and for it to be going well, and then for it to be taken away from you without you understanding and without getting any type of like good reason. Because most likely it has nothing to do with you. Because honestly, I think he could see a long-term relationship with me because he wouldn't have done all that shit if he couldn't have. And it's something that he needs to deal with within himself. Either one, he's not ready for a long-term relationship, period. Not because it's with you, with anyone. And maybe you were the first girl that he actually started to see and feel a long-term relationship with. And he panicked. He freaked out. He had put his foot in the water and he panicked and got cold feet and basically blamed it on you. When in reality, he might have some unhealed trauma, isn't over his ex-girlfriend, is stressed out. Like, you never fucking know, but most of the time the guy is not going to take the responsibility or take the time to probably self-reflect and deep dive into why he can't see a relationship with you when you guys get along like a house on fire, and he probably won't find someone that he gets along better with in a while. And maybe he'll figure it out later and, you know, and be like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that. But by that point, it's going to be too fucking late. So I can sit here and boo-hoo and be upset and, you know, and try to hope that he figures out what he lost, or just understand that the person that you're meant to be with won't fucking, like, let you go and will realize how special the person in front of them is and won't do shit like this.
What's that need in women to want to be special in every man's life? Understand this. That man only approached you for a moment. He was going to leave you afterward, but you kept insisting. The relationship lasted longer. He kept eating. He cut you off when you were looking for something serious because he just wanted to have fun, but you wanted more. Women get angry about this because they made an emotional investment. They feel the man should take responsibility for that. But let me tell you something. How many men nowadays aren't left in the friend zone? They're the typical simps with nice feelings toward you, who text you in the morning and at night, who take you to all the restaurants, who give you gifts, and yet you see how you go with the guy who just had to buy you a drink at the bar, the one with a car, or simply the one who texted you to come to his house to watch Netflix. Why don't you make things clear to those men? You leave them as simps for years, chasing after you. You make fun of him, laugh at what he writes. You're so bad that sometimes you go on a date with him, and that same night you meet a Chad and go with him, leaving the simp standing there like a fool. So this is your karma, being the simp girl of a Chad who used you, had fun with you, then rejected you when hitting the wall because the wall doesn't forgive.
3 reasons that man is not asking you to be his girlfriend yet. Let's get into it. Number 1, you are already acting like his girlfriend. You are texting him when he texts you. You are seeing him when he wants to see you. You're giving him everything he wants physically. Why is he going to fix something that is not broken? And my advice to you is stop giving people relationship benefits when you are not in a relationship with. He is never going to want to swim out of that pond and go into the ocean to ask you to be his girlfriend. Number 2, this one's going to hurt and I might ruin your weekend, but it's going to save you a lot of time in therapy, and it's all going to save you a lot of time doubting yourself because you were never the problem. You're always enough, and you're never asking too much. You're just asking the wrong person. So this one is that he likes you. He just doesn't like you enough to make you his girlfriend. And at this point, you need to run, don't walk. 3 is, honestly, sometimes they're just oblivious and they're a little dumb, so you have to spell it out for them. You have to ask them. And one of 2 things is going to happen. Either A, he's going to think, oh my God, I didn't know I had to ask you. You're already my girlfriend. Or 2 is he's going to give you some lame excuse, and at this point, you're sprinting, okay? Because you're wasting your time and he's never going to change, and that's it.
What men need to understand is that if a man tells you he doesn't want anything serious, he's being completely honest because we don't give false signals like you do. We say things as they are, but in the end, you seem to only hear what suits you. Let me tell men this. If you're dating a woman who's conditioning sex or affection, let me tell you that she's not into you. If you haven't gotten anything from her in less than 3 dates, save yourself the time and get out of there, as you're not generating enough emotions in this woman for her to want anything with you. And you know what's ironic? It used to be men going through this. But now that more men are focused on their life paths and fleeing from marriage, only wanting casual relationships, women feel anxiety, uncertainty, and instability. These are your best allies with modern women because it makes them invest more in the relationship. Women don't like to lose their investment, so always leave some mystery in the relationship, make them invest in you. Remember, drizzle, drizzle.
Why you might attract more men when you are putting minimal or no effort into your appearance. Hello, my name is Carla, and restoring healthy mindsets is my thing. It's not because you look more attractive. On the contrary, it's because you look easy. Before you get mad at me, let me explain. Men are lazy. Not all men. Toxic men are lazy. Insecure men are lazy. So when a man sees that you don't take care of yourself, you're looking scrubby in sweats or whatnot in a bun and you're not trying at all, it's because you might be more approachable, but in their mind, they think that you are easier to get to. Because notice when you get dressed up, when you feel confident, when you are in your own bubble, it literally feels like no one comes up to you. This is coming from experience, and it might be a little bit different for everybody, but this is from my personal experience. Very anecdotal. Do you think a guy that has no confidence, a guy that has nothing established, is gonna come up to me and try to get with me? Absolutely not. He's gonna respect me. He might open the door for me, but he's not gonna ask for my number because I might be too intimidating. But the man that does come up to me, that tries to get my number, I can tell you this, he's probably confident, he knows his value, he's not scared of a rejection, and he probably believes that he can afford me. Because a man that wants something serious is gonna be looking for someone that he can afford and maintain. And this is why I have never been scared to admit that I'm expensive. Because a man that wants to get with me needs to be able to afford me first. This is just to remind you ladies to continuously try on your appearance. Look clean, look classy, because you will attract a specific type of man. We don't want to attract a lot of men, no. We want to attract specific high value men. Remember that.
Here we have another dating coach. It's not that men are afraid to approach if a woman looks very put together. It's that not every woman is worth my time. It's that women like this, you can see it on their faces, are gold diggers. They go to upscale places, expensive restaurants, exclusive bars. They do everything to be in places where they can meet men with high purchasing power, old millionaires, or businessmen. If you want to confirm what I'm saying, just go to bars near business establishments, whether law firms, banks, financial places. You'll see that all the women who go to nearby restaurants are always very young women dressed very elegantly, or women in their 30s, who only drink coffee among themselves, trying to catch the attention of some high-value man. They're gold diggers. Women can't leave their hypergamy behind. That's why they go to those places, dressed like that, to see if they can get an old rich man, or become the mistress of some rich man who'll support them. That's why later you see them traveling and enjoying a great life, thanks to the one from below. They belong to the streets. That's why I say the modern woman isn't wife material. Keep focusing on your life path. Never stop investing in yourself.
What's poppin'? Don't mind me just watching. Don't mind me just watching. Don't mind me just watching. Don't mind me just watching.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll be discussing women and jobs, where many have been misled to follow the path of the boss girl, while others complain about working, where a woman says that men have all the benefits in society. We want to invite you to smash that like button. Let's support the movement. Subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you. Man, add your grain of sand to the movement. Leave us your experience in the comments for any man who needs it. And without further introduction, let's get started.
Whoever fought for women to get jobs? Why? Why did we do that? I am so tired. I want to just put my feet up. Like, I am... Oh my god.
No. Is that complaining, I hear? You guys fought for these rights. You wanted to get this money. You wanted to get in the field. So get to it. See, for generations, we've let you women get away with this long enough. We're tired of it. We've been doing it for the longest. So no, woman up. You cannot put those feet up and relax, baby girl. You got to get to work. We are in our soft guy era now. We realize you women can work now. We don't want a broke woman anymore. We don't want to pay 100% of everything. If we're going to do that, we would rather be alone. Just be ready to pay for some shit, because we're not playing. Drizzle, drizzle.
This is called not knowing how to appreciate your privileges. Do you know how easy it was to get up, take care of the house, prepare meals, look after the children, but also have time to rest, watch TV, even chat with friends? But you said that was oppression, that we were taking away your rights, that you deserve equality. So here's your equality. Times have changed. We're tired of giving you privileges only to see them thrown back in our faces. Then you complain about us because of them. Now it's time to work 24/7 like all men, to bring home the paycheck as we do, because we men aren't in the business of supporting ungrateful women who only complain about us despite giving them a better life. We don't want ruined women. Now pay half of the rent, half of the dinners, half of the expenses. Those times where men work to keep you happy are over, while you just saved your money, increasing your savings account, while ours stayed at zero. It's the age of soft boys now, so get to work too, rain or shine.
Well, there is something deeply, deeply, very, very psychologically wrong with me. And that is, if you're my boss, I'm gonna figure out a way to fall in love with you. And I've had multiple, many jobs in my lifetime. And I fall in love with many of those managers. And I'm the common denominator. And I know what you're thinking, Becca, get therapy. I have! I just always forget to bring that part up. Because is it a problem if you like it? Yeah, you're saying yes. So shut up. But it's so funny because if any of those managers ever like approached me in a bar and I hadn't known them before, I would have been like, get away from me. Get away from me. But when I work for him, I'm like, yeah, I could see myself marrying the manager of this Panera Bread in Columbus, Ohio right now. I don't really know how old he is or his last name, but he likes me even though I'm terrible at my job. And he didn't make me sleep last night. I don't know. There's just something about him. It is definitely because I've just been terrible at the jobs that I've had. So it's almost like, oh my God, he doesn't even care that I should not be employed here. And he just wants to hang out with me. I don't even have to work. All my coworkers definitely wanted me to get fired. So I've ended up actually dating 2 of them secretly. 3, I don't know why I just tried to lie to you. So yeah, I've ended up accidentally dating a couple of them. 3. Look, if that's what it ended up taking to get me to go to work, sue me. Actually, sue them. They're the bosses. I'm the girl. And honestly, all 3 of them broke my heart. So if we're talking about suing people, is anyone else down to sue right now? I'm down. Yeah, I've been single for a while. Probably because I haven't worked at a service industry job that pays me like $8 an hour in a while. But I would, if that's what it takes to get a boyfriend. No, Becca, shut up. Anyways, if there's a dating app for like restaurant bosses and people that don't work in restaurants, I would have a boyfriend right now. So yeah.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
These are the women who tomorrow want someone to give them a ring. Honestly, she's just made it clear that she belongs to the streets. She's attracted to positions of power. If someone is above her, she immediately feels attracted to that person. I want you to notice that she said she slept with many bosses at all of her jobs, even with more than one. So, if this is the modern woman, the one who doesn't want to work, who will find all sorts of ways to avoid working hours, what better way to do that than to sleep with your boss, who, by the way, is the one who sets your schedule? The funny thing about this isn't that she does these things. It's that in the comments of that video, there are thousands of women saying they're like her. It's that there's nowhere to find men of value. So if they have one close by, they go for him, even if he's the boss. That's why I say, where's the solidarity among women? Most of these bosses are married, yet they go after them, because a woman's worst enemy is another woman. So, secure your job position because she'll be sending in her resume.
Fell for the boss bitch, I could do everything by myself, that hyper independent bullshit. And I'm 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this. Yo, what? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything. My values, my perspectives, what I really want in the future. And what I really want is a family. I feel like social media or just
everything around us, society in general, wants to push that the woman is the future. No, the family is the future.
There are so many women that are going to be in this situation because they have been lied to. And there are a lot of men out there that want to have families that have been trying to say this. They have been trying to say that they just want a woman that is loving and caring in nature. They don't care if you're a boss babe. If anything, unfortunately, it might work against you. Now for this woman, she's come to that realization with plenty of time. I think she's going to find what she wants.
What this woman said is the reality for many women today. They are deceived by this false empowerment that only leads them to an empty home, to live a superficial life, to just work. When they come home, all they want to do is collapse from the sorrows in their bed. It's when they're told in their 20s, get a career, don't get married, get a good job, you don't need any man, you can do everything yourself, that they start to empower themselves. But when they reach their 30s, when they hit the wall, when their biological clock tells them to move, when they see they have no suitors, when all their friends are married or with children, and they're still in the market, older, with less time to go out because of their job, and more alone than the sun at noon, that's when fear sets in. This woman in this video is 31. Of course she's afraid of ending up alone. That's why she made this video, because she feels cheated. She thought that what women pursue, like a successful man, is what we men want too, because she listens to other women in her position instead of listening to what we've been telling them. That we want a woman who connects with her feminine energy, who is sweet and gentle, who treats us with respect, who performs acts of service, not a woman with a bossy attitude. I hope this woman finds a partner soon because I must tell her that she's hit the wall, and the wall doesn't forgive.
Question of the day. What privileges do men have?
50% of the population of the United States is women. And yet we make up 27% of Congress, 27% of the House of Representatives, and 25% of the United States Senate. And there's never been a female president. Out of the 46 that we've had, they've all been men, and 45 of them have been white men. 64% of domestic violence homicides are women. And in spite of being 50% of the population in Fortune 500 companies, women make up 8% of CEOs. Jobs that are considered feminine, like being a teacher, being a nurse, being a nanny, are all woefully underpaid. While jobs that are considered masculine, like being an engineer, being a contractor, being a business owner, are all very well paid. Women are blamed for choosing lower paying positions. But when we decide to pursue leadership positions, we're quite literally blamed for the disintegrating family structure in America. Things like vasectomies and Viagra are covered by most health insurances. Men's reproductive rights are never up for debate. Their Viagra and their vasectomies are quite literally covered by their insurance. And yet women's reproductive rights can be the law, can be in the Constitution, and still be revoked. I want you to type in the comment section below how many men you knew that were upset or even attempted to console you when your rights were literally fucking taken away from you. Comment below. Don't take too much time to think about it. I already know what the number is. It sure as shit is under 2. If a man so much as asks us out to dinner, we have to put out to give him a return on his investment by buying us food. And the risk of us sleeping with this man is potentially getting pregnant. Which if we were to get pregnant and couldn't support that child, we would be blamed for opening our legs. If we say no and that man grapes us, we'll be asked what we were wearing, how many drinks we had, and usually receive no legal recourse. Men are allowed to age. Men don't have the tremendous burden of maintaining an impossible beauty standard to not be deemed invisible. If you meet the beauty standard, you're made both safe and unsafe because you have more eyes on you, but people will actually give a fuck if something bad happens to you. If you don't meet the beauty standard, you're made safe and unsafe because you're rendered invisible, which means you have less targets on your back. But if something bad happens to you, no one's gonna give a shit. Women's bodies and identities are fucking taken from them and sold back to them every day. Our pain, our youth, our daughters are constantly fetishized. No matter what we do, we lose. We don't get to be a doctor. We get to be a female doctor. We don't get to be athletes. We get to be female athletes. We don't have the opportunity of being revered by our peers on a global stage because you control the narrative. And no matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, we can't win. And that's all changing. You gave us just a little too much power. And we're going to take it back. But we have a long way to go.
This is what I call a radical feminist. That's why she's single in her 30s with no children, on the path to becoming a bitter old lady with a cat. What's funny to me is why women talk so much about jobs. When you tell them there are jobs like gardening, construction, engineering, firefighting, police officers, plumbing, or septic tank cleaners, why don't they fight for equality in those jobs where manual labor is always needed? Oh, right, because you with a worthless degree want to be a manager, because you want to have more seats in Congress even when people don't vote for you, even when there are more women running for office, yet men still win the presidency, strangely with votes from women too. So where is the real abuse? Oh, right, because men get vasectomies, which is a minority of men who get them and I don't recommend it, but the majority of women want to abort babies made from partying recklessly. Where a man loses 50% of his assets in a divorce, where his rights to see his children are taken away because the mother doesn't want him to see them but still wants him to pay child support, where men nowadays have to pay permanent alimony, where 1 in every 3 men is raising someone else's child because the state doesn't want to make DNA testing mandatory, where a woman, even if the man doesn't want to have a child, still has the right to decide whether she has it or not. But of course, all the privileges go to the man.
Can anyone explain to me how I have 2 degrees? I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate. A little extra, right? I have a certificate. May not be a master's, but it's something extra along with the 2 degrees, you know? I'm trying to apply for jobs right now, and the thing is that the only person I have responding to me is a man from a tech company saying, "Hey, you want to answer some customer service problems? You want to answer some customer service calls?" No, Bart, I don't want to answer your calls. No, no offense, but I'm a little more qualified than to just be sitting around answering your customer service calls. Bart, okay? I'm sorry, but Bart is the only one who's responding to me. So what am I supposed to do? And you know, I'm looking down at these and I'm looking at them and I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, what was this for again? Oh, I don't know. Beats me.
My father once told me, son, don't study something that can't guarantee you 60% of the jobs in today's market. Because someone like this girl studying arts, what did she really expect? To be hired as an SEO of a company when she didn't study anything managerial? Why would anyone study this? At least study graphic design or video editing, but she studied arts. The funny thing is, if you ask her, she probably thinks she's strong and independent. She's probably part of the colorful hair movement. But today, she surely lives off her father's resources. Her father has to support an adult woman who was foolish enough to take out student loans to study art. Then they complain that men take all the best jobs. She better grab that receptionist job quickly before her father cuts off her water and electricity and kicks her out onto the street. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think about women working? Why do you think the boss woman can't find a husband? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.